An attorney calls it Mark Foley's deep, dark secret. Just after the quit Congress last month over explicit emails to teenage boys, Foley claimed he was molested by a clergyman. It allegedly happened decades ago in Florida, where Foley was raised in a devout Catholic family and once served as an altar boy. His lawyer says Foley will name the priest to church higher-ups.
Mark Foley is intending to work with the Archdiocese of Miami and Greater West Palm Beach for the purpose of revealing the name of the particular priest who is involved so that the Archdiocese can then deal appropriately with the issue.
Richmond says the priest is still alive. Even so, it's way too late for criminal charges.
More closed-door testimony in the Foley case. A House Ethics Committee is questioning the sponsor of a page who was among those Foley allegedly approached. CNN congressional correspondent Dana Bashir on Capitol Hill has the very latest details for us. Dana?
Hi, Don. Well, that lawmaker testified this morning. Right now, as we speak, there is a very important witness talking behind closed doors to the House Ethics Committee as they try to figure out what Mark Foley's behavior was here on Capitol Hill. And the person they're talking to was Mark Foley's chief of staff, a woman by the name of Liz Nicholson. She worked for Mark Foley for years and was his chief of staff up until the day he abruptly resigned just a few weeks ago. Now, if they are looking to try to find out exactly what people observed about Mark Foley's behavior or what they heard about, she would obviously be one of the key potential people, his top staffer for quite a while here on Capitol Hill. Also, we understand from a source that Liz Nicholson was at the meeting where Mark Foley was confronted by the former clerk of the House and also the chairman of the page board about an email exchange that he had with a former page. Now, you mentioned a congressman, the congressman who sponsored that former page, Rodney Alexander. He did speak to the committee behind closed doors for 3 hours this morning. Rodney Alexander sponsored the young man who was so upset apparently about an email that he got from Mark Foley after the page had left Capitol Hill that he sent it to somebody in Rodney Alexander's office saying it was 666. Now, after Congressman Alexander testified, he came out and talked to reporters and dropped a little bit of a hint, it seemed, about what the committee was going after.
It's quite apparent from some of the reports out there that there are many people that know what we know and have known it for a lot longer period of time than we've known it. There are people that know what the sexually explicit emails contain and have known about them for a longer period of time.
Now, Congressman Alexander also made a point of saying that the former page whom he sponsored and the page's family are quite upset about this. He even said that the parents are almost physically sick, Don, about it all. Don.
All right, Dana, thank you for that. The timing of Foley's abuse claim and his plan to name the alleged abuser is troubling to some in the gay and GOP communities. Joining me now is Patrick Sammon. He is the Executive Vice President of the Log Cabin Republicans. As a Republican and a person who is openly gay, is this embarrassing to you?
Well, Don, Mark Foley's behavior was shameful and despicable. If he broke the law, he should be prosecuted. And the timing of the release of this information is troubling to me because it creates the appearance that Mark Foley is trying to make excuses for his behavior. I have great sympathy for all victims of sexual abuse, but Mark Foley shouldn't make excuses, any excuses for his behavior here. As a good Republican, I believe in personal responsibility, and Mark Foley needs to be personally responsible for his shameful actions.
Patrick, there are some who are using this, I guess, are taking the opportunity to equate this to pedophilia. As a matter of fact, Tony Perkins, we have a quote from him. He says, "Neither party seems likely to address the real issue, which is the link between homosexuality and child sexual abuse." And that is on his website, the Family Research Council. Your response to that?
Well, Tony Perkins is using junk science to spread false stereotypes. The overwhelming number of studies show that gay people are no more likely to be pedophiles, and Tony Perkins and the other anti-gay groups should be ashamed, because what they're doing here is they're trying to take advantage of this situation to spread an anti-gay agenda. They seem to be more interested in spreading false stereotypes and lies than actually figuring out what happened here. It's really despicable what they're trying to do.
And I'm sure you've heard of this. There's this thing out now called the Pink Purge, that the Republican Party is trying to purge the party of gays There's a ranking of gay Republicans on Capitol Hill that the administration is trying to get rid of. And it's been written about. You've heard about it. I've spoken to you about it over the phone before we did this. What do you say about that?
Well, there's really not any truth to the rumors that are going around. The fact of the matter is there are hundreds of thousands of good, loyal gay and lesbian Republicans who believe in the core values of the Republican Party. They also don't agree on every issue, and we believe that the party needs to be more inclusive on gay and lesbian issues. But gay and lesbian people play an important part in the Republican Party, and they will continue doing so in the future. And I expect the party will become more inclusive on gay and lesbian issues in the future because society is becoming more inclusive. More and more Americans understand that gay and lesbian people deserve to be treated fairly. And I think one of the reasons the anti-gay groups are trying to take advantage of this situation is they know they're losing. So they're desperate and they're going to try any tactic they can to turn this situation around, but they're going to fail.
But there are people who are within the party who are saying it's called the Big Tent Party. You agree with that? The GOP, the Big Tent Party? Well, there are people who are saying the Big Tent Party strategy needs to change because what they seem to be doing now is attracting a bunch of clowns.
That is just simply a silly quote. It might sound good, but there's absolutely no truth to it. For the Republican Party to be the majority party in this nation in the decades ahead, they need to be inclusive and include people with different viewpoints across the ideological spectrum. And some of the anti-gay groups are really creating a recipe to make the Republican Party a minority party in the decades ahead.
Some people, Patrick, are surprised that there are actually so many openly gay people in the Republican Party. As a matter of fact, there was an op-ed piece in the New York Times this past weekend. Frank Rich said, if anything good has come out of the Foley scandal, it is surely this, the revelation that the political party found on demonizing homosexuals each election year is as well stocked with trusted and accomplished gay leaders as virtually every other power center in America.
Well, there are good and loyal gay and lesbian Republicans who are working to advance the priorities of this party. And I think that it's always wrong to use gay and lesbian people to score political points. But there's a small segment, small but vocal segment of the party who's advancing an anti-gay agenda. But I expect the party will become more inclusive in the future. And we're going to continue moving forward to create a country where all families are treated equally and fairly.
So obviously you're still committed.
Absolutely. I'm a good, loyal Republican, and I'm going to continue working to advance the priorities of this party.
Patrick Sammon, head of the Log Cabin Republicans. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks.